was not over the pylon. It was
Okay, we're going live right now. I don't know what the hell happened there,
okay.
but it is setting it up. It is redirecting it.
I
We
was
are
a.
live now,
I'm happy that I was
and
able
I'm
to
going
help with
to
all the
get
tech.
my music going again. Come on. There we go. You have sound?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're talking about hockey. Two ball guys talking about hockey. Two ball guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
Okay. I think that's it.
We've started.
We have started again because we had technical difficulties and we had to restart our start.
And I'm sure everybody's surprised I was no help at all in fixing the issues.
He really wasn't. Okay.
So,
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, happy all the other stuff that we already said when we started the first one.
and happy World Junior time.
Okay. And
Oh, Senators Wild are 1-1.
Sun's tied it up.
Yeah, Sens tied it up. And they're out shooting the Wild 21-10.
Well, that rang off the post. Or if you have a delayed feed, that you'll be.
I do have a delayed feed.
Well, it didn't go in.
I have a
So,
delayed feed.
World Juniors, Jean, you have been to games. You were
Yes.
at the infamous Canada Latvia game. Please comment.
Very disappointing. And you know what? I told you and I told Justin that I was not happy with the way the team was picked. And so far that they've lost against Latvia and that they're only winning 1-0 against Germany is pretty much an embarrassment. And like they're trying to me they're trying to show how smart they are and how much they know about hockey because there was a lot of decisions that they made that were not difficult decisions. Nobody can convince me that Beckett Seneke does not belong in that team. Like there's nobody in the world that can convince me that. It's
And when
and
you're watching them struggle on the power play and in a shootout, they can't put one past a goalie, and they've left Beckett Seneke, Carter Yakimchuk, Zane Parak, like these amazing offensive skilled players at home.
like guys that can play on a power play and score goals. And up to tonight, they were playing Oliver Bonk as a power play quarterback. He's not a power play quarterback. He's never been a power play quarterback. He's very skilled. And in London, which has the best power play in junior hockey in Canada, he's playing the bumper position. And Sam Dickinson, who is like is third in scoring in the OHL as a defenseman, and he's the power play quarterback. And they weren't playing in those positions until tonight. And they scored a power play goal. They've had many more chances, but to me, it just very disappointing. And if you would bring on a an American hockey fan right now, they would have the same opinion about the Americans losing to Finland. But Finland is a much better team than Latvia. Latvia worked hard. They deserve what they got. But to me, there was no effort from Team Canada, and it was not, they weren't playing well.
Yeah.
So
I've heard
it's
complaints
very
about the
frustrating game.
reffing. And yeah, okay, I'll agree that at least one of the calls against Canada was a little bit
But
head shaking. But that's not why they lost that game, folks.
no, no. The you know what? I've been watching World Juniors for 35 years. The TSN, has been showing the World Juniors for 35 years. I've been watching the World Juniors for 35 years. And I'm telling you, I've seen some really, really bad reffing at that tournament. And this year, the reffing is adequate. It's not bad. It's not excellent, but it's okay. Some games are actually well reffed. So they've improved tremendously. So you can't say that it was because it was bad calls against Team Canada. It was just bad coaching, bad GM, no effort.
Bad putting the team together.
Yep.
And the
So,
players are playing. There's a lot of selfish play out there. There's a lot of guys trying to go 1-on-3. No,
but it's not the effort that we need. So, like,
Latvia in that game, that's their Super Bowl.
yeah, oh
They
yeah,
were going
they
to come
won
in
their
and play
Stanley
their
Cup.
best game.
They won their Stanley Cup in that game, and I was surprised that like I was at the Latvia USA game, and somehow I ended up getting all 4 games for Latvia at this tournament. Um, so at Latvia against the USA, they played well, but there was going to be a letdown after that game. Because, you have to. Like they played it in the evening and then they play in the afternoon game the next day. So there's no way that they weren't gonna have a letdown. But they played well. And they've been hanging in there, and I think that Latvia is gonna have a shot tomorrow against Germany, the game that you and I are gonna be at. And then they're gonna have a
Bald
shot
guys
against
watching hockey.
yeah. And then they're gonna have a shot against Finland on Tuesday, and which a game I'm going to also. So
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. Like I'm actually more of a fan of of Latvia now than what I was. Honestly, that goalie he was amazing. He played his best game of his life, I'm sure. And Canada didn't make him have to work for it as hard as they should have.
yeah,
But
he made 56 saves. But I'm telling, or he had 56 shots. He made 54 saves. But to me,
and
there
then
was
8
a
more in the
lot
shootout.
of shots that were from the outside. So
Yeah.
there was no 10 bell saves that he had to make during
So
that
in the
game.
games you've been to, who are the standout players that you've seen? Like who's really caught your eye? Like you're on a scouting mission. I know you, Jean. You were scouting.
Some guys Matthew Schaefer is out of this world good. Like, and I don't care that he broke his clavicle or his dislocated his shoulder, whatever he broke. He is out of this world good. He should be going number one.
Number
But
one overall.
number one overall. To me,
Wow.
Matthew Schaefer, out of this world good. James Higgins, well, I know that everybody knows, but if you're looking for a point producer, he's going to be your guy. So Porter Martone didn't show anything in the 2 games that he played. He wasn't getting a lot of ice time. So, but that doesn't mean like you're getting a 6'4" guy that can get you 90 points in the NHL. I think you're not going to say no to that. So,
Nope.
so those are the guys that I looked at and I was impressed. Gavin McKenna, if you got a shot to get him, like people are saying that he's it's just because he's Connor Bedard's cousin that he's that good. He's got skill like that comes out of everywhere. So
Well, when you watch him play, you don't think like he's 16.
Yeah, he just turned
Just a
17.
little boy.
Yeah, this week. He turned 17 this week.
Yeah.
So he is really, really good.
So
That's,
if I'm ever going to rig a draft lottery, that's going to be the one I do it on. There you go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
here,
no, he in the first game that Canada played, Gavin McKenna was the standout for me.
yeah.
I to be honest, I haven't seen what others are seeing in Schaefer, but I have questions. I've just started doing my draft
Mhm.
research, and Hagen's. Like, I'm not so sure I want to take Hagen's at first overall either.
Oh, I'm not
So,
taking Higgins at first overall. I'm taking Matt Schaefer, hands down. Number one.
well, what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna go like if I go into the draft with that, it's
Yeah.
not. I'm not going in hands down. Hagen's is the best player,
Yeah.
and I think people went into this season with that mentality that Hagen's was hands down the best.
Yeah.
And I'm
I'll
I'm
tell
not.
you.
If he is first overall, he's not going to be Connor Bedard.
No. You're not looking at Connor Bedard. I think you're looking at Logan Cooley and
Yeah.
that type of player. I think how he plays against Team Canada on Tuesday evening is gonna give a lot to who to the type of player he's gonna be, like, and where he's gonna get drafted. So
Oh yeah, because that's everybody's going to be watching that game.
yeah, so it's gonna be a high pressure game, and he's their number one center, so it's gonna give a lot. Two guys that have already been drafted. Well, three guys. Carter George is much better than I expected, than I thought he was. So
Oh yeah,
Zach,
full marks.
full marks for drafting him,
Like,
Zach,
me too.
because I
I
didn't
didn't.
have him there. So,
Yeah, I didn't have him as a top goalie, and
Z William
he is.
is out of this world good. Like, yeah, he's the guy I wish I could have been able to have last year. And good job, Cage,
Still don't know why
grabbing
he
him at
slipped.
7.
I still don't know why he slipped in the NHL.
Yep. So, and yeah, I can't believe he slipped to 12.
Well, Zane Parekh and Yakimchuk went before him.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I'm a big fan of Yakimchuk, but I would have taken William before. And Cole Hudson, as you said about his brother, when he has the puck, he's a magician. When he doesn't have the puck, it's an
It is
adventure.
I am the most bipolar-ish watching Lane Hudson play, because when he has the puck, he is unbelievably good. Like, honestly, if he had the puck on his stick for 60 minutes a game, Montreal would never lose. Like, he's that good.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with him is he is below average, and I'm being nice. He is below average in defensive zone coverage. He is really, really bad. And I think your point, because we were talking before, your point was you got to put him with a defensive specialist.
Well,
And I'm thinking Erik Karlsson and what's his face?
Mark Mathot or Philip Kuba.
Mark Mathot.
Philip Kuba.
Or Philip Kuba.
Paul Coffey, Charlie Huddy for the old guys out there. You know, Brian Leach and Jeff Bukabu. That's what they're going to have in Montreal. And who drafted him in the NHL? Can't forget. I've got a blank.
Okay, who drafted him?
Cole Hudson, his brother.
Cole Hudson, was that Chicago?
No.
Let me to the internets. I can look this up very quickly.
For some reason, I've got a memory blank of who drafted Cole Hudson.
Washington Capitals,
Yeah.
43rd overall.
So
And again, if he's what Lane Hudson is, then
he's
that's amazing for Washington.
Yeah.
From what I remember, he wasn't exactly the same kind of player that Lane was. Like there was a very different kind of
he
game.
is very, very close. Like he's a magician with the puck.
Yeah.
So
I guess with hindsight, you wouldn't pass on him for like EJ Emery or someone, right?
no.
If you were a big Cole Hudson fan and you were
I wouldn't have
picking,
passed on him for
you wouldn't have passed on him for EJ Emery.
no. If you would have said, been looking at him the whole draft and then the pick comes, I would have taken him. But
Well, there's a guy that was skipped over by the US, right? EJ Emery.
Yeah, he didn't make the US team. You know me. If a guy's under 6 feet tall, he better be awesome as a defenseman.
Yeah, and I had a lot of problems with Lane Hudson and Cole Hudson. Like I wasn't going to take either one of them.
Yeah.
In fact, I took Maverick Lamoureux, I believe, one pick before Lane Hudson in the NHL or the DCHL draft, and I still like that pick.
Lamoureux is turning out to be a good pick because he was playing really well. And before
because he got the call up. He got the call up in the NHL because of the injuries. And his first couple games, he was not good. He was not good. But he gave about 4 or 5 games into it. Yep. He was an NHL defenseman. Like he
was playing really well
by the time he got
hurt. So
yeah. Well, he's supposed to be back soon, I think, like another week or so. So, but wow. Yeah. Maverick Lamoureux. There we go. Okay, so one thing I wanted to pick your brain on, and I'll throw a couple names on of guys that I'm watching. But who are some off the board picks in the DCHL draft that you have watched in this World Juniors and went, that's a guy I'm interested in?
Okay, I will tell you.
I'll throw the first one out.
I haven't looked at any of those because I usually look at my off the board picks just like in the month of June. So I haven't looked at any of them. So besides the goalie from Latvia, I haven't looked at any.
I feel like he's going to be drafted though.
Eh?
I feel like the NHL draft, because he's only 19, right?
Yeah.
Like he's still going to be eligible for he'll be an overager drafted this year in the NHL draft. I really don't think he'll be passed on this year.
No, he'll get drafted in the NHL this year and the DCHL.
Oh, I just picked up an extra second round pick. If he's sitting there in the an extra 7th round pick, if he's there in the 7th round, I can pretty much guarantee you I will be taking him. But I guess the guy I was, there's Jacob Fibiger. I don't know how to pronounce his name, who's a Czech from Czechia, a defenseman, plays in the OHL. I think it's Mississauga.
Yep.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
He's been putting up friggin' numbers, man. Like,
yeah, he has.
He's
played really well for Czech.
EA Sports Hockey is numbers he's putting up, and the other one is Kalkang. It's from I don't know, Kalle from Finland. Finland's forward. He just looked like he's
a big boy.
I don't think he's put up any numbers, but he's what's that?
He's a big boy.
I think he's like 6'5", 6'4", something like that.
Yeah. Yep.
I can confirm that.
But he's not a scorer.
No, but he's just he's a big body and he's out there. Right? Yeah, he's 6'4".
He's not a forward. Kangas.
He's a D?
That's the guy you're talking about, right? Cal Kangas.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a D.
he's a D.
Yeah.
He's listed on Hockey DB as a forward,
So
but I'm pretty sure I watched him playing D. Actually, now that I think about it, he was playing D.
yeah, he is a D. He's a I've been impressed with him.
He's a big
But I
boy,
didn't know that he wasn't
big scorer.
drafted until you mentioned it.
Well, he was drafted in the NHL,
But none in the
Pittsburgh,
DCHL.
but not in the DCHL. So, and he's definitely a guy I'll be looking at. He's on my watch list. I set up a watch list last year. I had like 100 guys on my watch list.
Yeah.
He,
He was
he
drafted by Pittsburgh in the NHL in 2003 in the 7th round.
223rd or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
200 and something.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the other one is the Montreal defense.
Bergquist.
Montreal 7th round pick.
Yeah, Bergquist.
Bergqvist.
Bergquist. He's been
So,
playing well for
I-
Sweden.
Well, because I'll tell you why I started watching him, because I drafted Leo Salin Wallenius and he didn't get picked for that team, and Bergqvist did. And they're from the same draft class. So what the hell? But he's just a different kind of defenseman as well. So,
But he's been playing well in Sweden, and like
yeah.
sometimes it just takes a guy like an extra season to break out. So especially at that age.
Oh, that is an unfortunate body position. The Canadian defenseman and the German goalie were getting friendly.
Okay.
It was an unfortunate body position. I could actually set it up and just show my camera. So I actually thought about doing this, having the game in one of the windows. But I thought that might be, YouTube might not be happy with us live streaming the game that way.
No, they're not going to be fans of us
They'll
anymore.
demonetize us, yeah.
Yeah, they won't be fans of us anymore.
They'll cut our pay down from nothing to nothing.
Finding us. Right? So
Well, a friend of mine actually has a YouTube channel and he's got 1,000 followers. And he, before he was at that point, he was running videos with music in the background and he kept getting like warnings of demonetization. He's like, "You're not paying me anything anyway." So,
yeah.
he runs a barbecue channel and a beer tasting channel.
Does he?
Yeah.
There's a guy I work with. He goes to, like, he travels all the time. He's single, but he goes to all-inclusive resorts, and he does a YouTube video on all the resorts that he goes to, and they give him deals, like pretty much, like some places he goes, he pays like a few $100s for a week to be there because of his videos. So there's ways to make money. We're just not there yet, Steve.
Well, you got to have a few more than 32 followers, that's for sure.
Is it 32, 31? We don't even have the full league still following us.
No, that is disappointing.
Yeah. So I would like to talk about a couple things. One, you mentioned that you will be sending out the RFA email soon, or
Well, I haven't talked to the Bog about it, but presumably I'm going to be doing it again this year. So,
well, either way, RFA season is coming. So
yeah, usually it starts in the new year.
So pay attention, and start to look at it.
So, do you have guys that you're really looking to?
Oh, I only have 3 RFAs, and they're like two in the minors, Kira Schmidt, Graham Clark, and Ole Linkfeld. I know I screwed up his name.
I believe I have chicken.
And so those are I only have three guys, so I'm not Linksell. Ole Linksell from Flyers as my RFAs. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was the standings. Have you seen who's in first place in the DCHL overall?
Tristan Jarry.
Canadians.
Tristan Jarry.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
team, the GM that used to have him, I'm sure regrets trading him now.
I am happy to say that I at least have one of the wins against Montreal. Like they only have like a handful of losses all year, regulation losses, and one is to me. So, yay me. But yeah, there are a few anomalies that we were talking about. Montreal being in first by a fair bit now. Like it's
they're tied. They're tied with San Jose, but they have two less games played, and both teams are 4 points ahead of New Jersey. So that's pretty impressive that the Montreal Canadiens are in first place. Didn't expect them to be.
Well, but
at all this year. I think in the future they'll be a powerhouse, just not this year. So,
well, I also want to talk about the who's not in the playoffs, and Utah being on the outside looking in.
yeah,
is I think we both had them as at least finals contenders, and they're not. They're not even in a playoff spot right now.
So,
no, they've had injuries. But wow, it's been a tough year, man. It's been a tough year for a lot of teams. Ian, look, Buffalo is down in third right now. Although I think they have like a better points percentage than Boston, who's ahead of them.
Yeah, but they're 1 point behind Boston, and they only have one less game played than Boston. So, and they've been last 10 games 3-5-2. Boston has been 8-2.
Yeah.
So, but
the
also
Islanders still looking on the outside.
Yeah. Calgary is third in their division.
They lost to Vegas.
Yeah.
Was it today? I think it was today. Vegas in overtime.
So,
it is one crazy ass year.
St. Louis is still at the top. Did you notice that the top three teams in the Central all have 47 points? They don't have the same amount of games.
I'm going to call this up right now here.
That's
we'll go to the standings here. There we go. The top three teams in the Central all have 47 points. Yes.
Yeah.
That is nuts. That is nuts.
Disappointing the LA Kings. I didn't think that the Kings would be that low in the standings.
Yeah, sorry, Kalen.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kalen. We've tried to have Kalen on the show a couple times.
Yeah. Must be the new GM, eh?
Yeah.
Bringing down the Kings. So
I'll let you take the first dig at Kalen since his return to the league. I didn't say that, Kalen.
Jets.
Yeah, well, Vancouver's worked their way back up. They were down low for a while, but they're working their way back up.
They've been on a streak for after the first 10, 12 games, they've been really hot. Vancouver.
Yeah,
So
you could say that that LA is pretty much out of contention for the
yeah.
playoffs. They
So
are 10
I
points
think
back.
yeah, LA's out because there's four teams in front of them to make to like five teams to make to be in it, and they're
Yeah.
9 points behind Colorado. So yeah, LA is out. Winnipeg gonna have to start to pick it up, and same thing with the Wild. So
Well, Winnipeg dropped a big game against me yesterday, and Freddie Anderson basically stole the game, like 30 something saves.
so
Sorry, Randy. He's been
he
shit all
owes
year except for lately.
Anderson owed you a few games. So
Well, like, look at some of the ones he's lost. Gave up 5 against Anaheim, and then he goes into Calgary and whoops them 5-1.
mm-hmm.
Like, sorry, Dan, but your offense is not quite as strong as Calgary, but apparently, according to Freddie, it's way stronger. So yeah, no, I this year, man, like we should go back and review our video from before the season because
We were wrong on a
we
lot.
were wrong.
Yeah. And
Real
Tampa Bay had a really good start to the season, just like last year. And he is back down to the bottom with me and you.
Yeah, well, I'm tied with him with he has a game at hand,
So
and I was honestly I went on this 9-game road trip and I figured I was out, like because I could not see my team doing well on this 9-game road trip, and I'm 4-0-2 after the first 6 games, and I'm catching up to teams. So yay! I passed your team on this road trip, yeah.
yes, it's I for some reason I well, I'm at the bottom, but I'm winning a lot more than I thought I would. So
Yeah,
um
I don't get this year at all.
the one prediction that I'm gonna make is I think the Islanders are gonna make the playoffs, and Pittsburgh is not going to make the playoffs.
Well, Islanders are on a 4-game heater, so
I think the team is still that good. Flax is gonna pull out a trade, a Flax trade, where he's gonna end up with Connor McDavid and trade him for
well, he doesn't have any farm
line.
teams to trade with anymore now, though.
Does he still figures it these trades out? So,
There haven't been many trades lately. I think
no,
I've been the last 2 trades, and they haven't been of anything. Nathan Lagare was traded by me for Theodore Niederbach and 2 draft picks, and I acquired Zach Bogosian.
as a depth defenseman.
Yeah, because Aaron Ekblad's out for another week. So, and it didn't cost a lot to get him.
So,
But yeah, this year, not as many trades.
no, so it's when you have some teams that were doing better than they expected to. So, and there was so many teams that were looking to tank. Uh, we already trade like we've been tanking for a few years, so we've traded all of our assets, so we don't have a lot of assets left to trade.
Well, I think that's the point, is that everyone who's been trading shit has already traded everything they got of value, and all the spots you get 3 retaining salaries. Those are gone from the people that are going to do it. So really, there's not a whole lot left.
No,
We'll see. Like, people always seem to be able to find a way to make a deal happen at the deadline. So maybe that'll be the case.
Mhm.
But I just don't. I don't know. Like, what do I do, right? A team like me, I'm not selling, and
no,
I'm not going to be buying. I'm not giving up a whole lot. So I'm just going to stand pat.
Yeah.
And, Boston makes a lot of trades, but I think he kind of likes where he is right now.
And if you look at who's like the cap space for everybody, there isn't a lot of cap space left.
Well, and the guys that have it,
Are at the bottom.
Yeah.
Like the Kings and but the Kings, they're out to me in right now, but he's got 10 million in cap space. Edmonton has
that's because he's
15.
got injuries, though.
Okay.
He's got 10 million in cap space, but he's missing a top player.
Okay.
I don't remember who it is right now. Is it Pasternak? I think it's Pasternak. Like he's got a serious injury here. Let's look at that here.
The,
Yeah,
the
he's
one
missing David Pasternak.
Okay. The one team that I could see trying to making a trade would be St. Louis. He's got $11 million in cap space, and he's in first place in the Central. Well, tied for first in the Central. So,
And he has no injuries. But
but
he's not a GM that's really active though either, right? Like,
but he was at the deadline
oh,
a couple of years ago when he made a run. So
he won it.
yeah,
He won it a couple years ago.
So you might try to make a run, try to make a couple of trades. I think he needs to add to his depth. So he could use a top six forward and a top four defenseman. Well, he's on D. He's pretty solid. So it's just he needs a top six forward to improve his forward. So
Oh, it's funny because we're just talking about other teams. It made me think of the Montreal goalie who had the rookie goalie who had his first start the other night and got a
Dobes.
Dobesh.
Yeah,
He's Czech, I
Dobesh.
think.
Yes, he is
Not
Czech.
the-
It's not Doby. It's not Dobe. It's probably Dobish. Something like that.
I'm like, I sent a message to Nationals GM saying, "Hey, like, you got to comment on your guy. Like, shutout in his first NHL start, Crickets."
Yeah.
Haven't heard, but that was my guy. I'd be like, everybody in the DCHL would be hearing about it.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum.
Gonna shut out.
Oh! Spoiler alert. Junior game.
I'm behind. I'm at a commercial.
You're at a commercial? How far behind are you?
Wi-Fi in Auction Mills is pretty
God.
slow.
I can't ever watch the draft with you then, or something like that.
No.
I remember it was a problem last time where
Yeah.
I'd have to like sit and bite my tongue for
30 seconds, 45 seconds.
like this is just. Oh wow! They
just
did
scored.
you see the goal yet?
Yeah.
Okay, it went in off the goalie. It went in off the goalie. It's just a fluke goal.
Caden Price. You're gonna have to make a video of that.
I love the kid, but he should not be on that team. He should not be on that team. He is not. And he's not the first D I would kick off the team, but Carter Yakimchuk should be on that team ahead of him.
Yeah.
Like that is.
Carter Yakimchuk is playing really well. But I guess they don't believe in him. Somebody doesn't believe in him.
The way that team was put together, I just want to call into question the people making the decisions. Yeah. And it starts with Beckett Seneke. Like, are you not watching him play this year in the OHL?
or last year throughout the play. Like he's been awesome.
He like okay, I think they think they're smarter than NHL GMs who had him in the top. Most teams had him in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like he went third, right? Second or
Yep.
third?
So you went third.
Third. Third
Third
Danaheim.
Anaheim.
Like I don't know that was a little richer than I would have had him, but I had him easily in the top 5.
Yeah.
Like
He's got 50 points in 29 games. So
he should be in this tournament. And when you shit the bed in a shootout like they did against Latvia, people should be answering for that. And I'm not talking about the players, although Easton Cowan's performance in that shootout was embarrassing. His shot was embarrassing. And I hope every Leafs fan out there covers their eyes in shame because that was awful, god awful. But anyway, back to Beckett Seneke. He should have been on that team. I'm watching them on the power play look like they don't know what the hell they're doing.
yep.
And I'm thinking Carter Yakimchuk, Zane Parekh, and Beckett Seneke right there. 3 guys who are high-level offensive talent.
So Michael
They should
Age,
be.
he's top scorer in Michigan, and not even an invite. Like,
Oh, the one that blew me away, the invite that blew me away was Cam Allen.
yeah,
The guy didn't play last year hardly at all. He was injured. And he was invited right away in the summer. He was on their summer camp list. And I was like, what the hell? And then when I thought he was going to make the team. And Jean, I'll be honest, I liked him in his draft year. I did. But there's no way that guy should be higher up on the depth chart in Canada's defensemen than Carter Yakimchuk and Zane Parekh.
yeah.
And you and I have both been critical of both those guys. But I'm putting them on my team.
Especially when a power play at a tournament is so important. If you don't have a good power play, you're going to struggle to win.
There you go. There you go.
Right
That's
there.
it.
Right?
Oh my God. That game against Latvia was just awful. I'm sorry you were in the stands for that.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Although it wasn't fun watching it from home either. Okay, so we got.
I was speechless.
How much time is left?
Oh, no, they called a timeout, and for some reason they put 18 minutes on the clock. There was 3 minutes something left in the game.
Okay.
So do you have anything else that you want to?
No, I've vented sufficiently about Team Canada. And you said it earlier as well. I think the US team did the same piss poor job. And I mean, go Finland, go Latvia. Jesse Kiskinen. I drafted Jesse Kiskinen. That pick is looking really good.
Oh, by the way, I didn't mention it, but I have 10 players in the Florida Panthers DCHL team has 10 players at that tournament.
Really? I'm gonna have to go back and check.
10.
Because
and that
2021, I had 10 or 11.
That doesn't include Michael Age, Tisha Ginla, Silayev, and Servin.
Both should be on the team.
Well, Tisha Ginla is hurt.
Yeah.
hip
But he
operation.
wasn't going to make but they weren't putting Tishigan on that team, Jean.
So I'm pretty happy with my team so far, with my
I think
prospect.
the draft pick of yours that I am most in awe of is the New York Islanders guy who scored his first goal last week against the Leafs.
Isaiah George.
Isaiah George. Like,
Yeah.
and I like to think I'm good at drafting, uh, especially defensemen. I have a pretty good track record. I did not have Isaiah George anywhere in my
He was on my list.
vision.
He was on my list from the time that he got drafted by London to the OHL from his midget team, because he was supposed to be a first round pick, and he got drafted in the 6th or 7th round. And I'm like, what the hell? Why didn't he get drafted? And I've been keeping an eye on him. He's not an offensive guy, but he's a great skater and a really good defender. So I had him on my list for years and years.
So he's your Damon Hunt.
Yep.
Damon Hunt in the 2020 draft injured. I think he injured his hand, and he was supposed to be a high first round pick, but then his hand injury, I think it was a hand injury, he dropped down to the 3rd round or the 2nd round. I think it was early 3rd. And frickin' Mike Giletto picked him up in our draft. And I was fortunate enough to trick Mike into trading him to me for a shit player too. Sorry, Mike, but I've loved Damon Hunt. But I mean, Isaiah George has already got more career goals than Damon Hunt. Although I think they played about the same number of NHL games. How many games is he at 20 yet, Isaiah George?
He should be really close.
He's right around there. I thought he was right 15 to 20. So
yeah, I think he's a regular now on the Islanders blue line.
So you got a guy. You got a guy right there. And if you have a third pairing defenseman, like at worst, a third pairing defenseman for 700 to a million, 700,000 to a million, that's a huge, that's an extra million. You look what those third pairing guys go for in free agency.
Yep. Well, yeah, I picked up a few over the years. So yeah, like Isaiah George has played 21 minutes at 21 games, and he's averaging just over 17 minutes a game. So
solid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you guys that don't put the thought into the draft. There you go. I mean, you hit one of those players.
Yeah.
And you got him in the 4th round, I think it was.
Yeah, 4th round. And I got Grabenkin from the Leafs.
The Russian guy that plays for the Leafs.
Yeah. I've got him in the 5th round. So it was the 3rd round?
No, I just
3. It's still 2-0 here.
Okay, well, empty net goal coming.
Okay.
I hit the lottery with Sam Malinsky in the 6th round, and he'll be in my roster next year. In my third pairing, will be Darren Radish and Sam Malinsky, 2 guys for under $1 million each, and they should be rated. They should be rated well enough.
Yeah.
And that's if Maverick Lamoureux isn't rated high enough, and I don't think he'll be rated high enough for me to put him in. Based off of if he plays another 30 games this year, maybe. So he gets to 40 games. But you start loading up your team with these cheaper D. You can go big time on some of the big names.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's won. I think that's how Josh runs this team.
Josh
So
always, just before a guy gets to be too expensive, or just before he's going to become a UFA, and he trades him away for futures, for somebody now and a little bit of future.
yeah,
He's
he'll
always got
trade that
somebody
overage
coming.
guy who's going to be a UFA and a draft pick for a better young player coming up.
Yep.
And they always seem to buy it.
He doesn't wait until a guy, he just before the value starts to go down, he trades him. So,
Well, some people would call that smart.
yep.
I
Yep.
call it evil.
Okay.
Okay,
I think
game's over.
we've been on for over an hour now, I think.
Yeah. Why don't we call it here and
Yeah.
maybe next week? I don't know.
We'll see next week.
I'm free next week.
I should be free next week. So
Okay. Well, we'll stop
Okay.
there.